Oh, hey. Oh, now come on, my light just went bonkers. I tested it and everything. Well, let's see if this works like it did last week. It was the white balance. I guess I could talk like this. I mean, I had it, my test was perfect. Let's see if that helps a little. This week it's over here that's... I'm not happy. It had to do with the night shift because it's winter here and it gets dark from my north window earlier. Anyway, I got my lipstick. I got my script, which you'll see me referring to quite often. Anyway, my name is Vicki Ross, and I teach people how to learn and grow as artists. This fills their empty time with peace. It doesn't matter what caused that empty time. It could be like in my case, I was pushed off a cliff when my daughter died. It could be when your puppy died. It could be because your kids are grown and don't need you to fix their food every day. Any of those reasons. We all end up having empty time on our hands as we get into the best years of our life. I'm going to invite you later to sign up for my free Axully art roadmap, which gives you an outline of how I spent my 15 years going from a straight beginner to, okay, I'm kind of advanced. I hate to say that because I don't like to brag. I am not happy about that light. Anyway, here we go. Have you ever studied with a teacher of any kind, I don't care what the subject was, who was convinced their way was the only way and you had to do it like them or you were wrong? You couldn't get there from here? Well, if I could have a fresh tube of paint for everyone I can talk about, I'd have enough paint to share with all of you. I've had teachers who walk up to you and they'll just take your brush right out of your hand and they'll fix whatever it is you seem to be struggling with, and then they go on to another student. You don't really know why they did it. You can kind of tell how they did it because you watched, but you're not going to remember it because you didn't do it. You have to do it, and you have to do it, and hey, that's cool. Anyway, you have to do it or you're not going to develop the tool and the muscle memory in your brain that when I hold my brush like this and it's loaded with paint, I'm going to make a mark like that. And that's a tool in your toolbox that you'll use over and over and over again. It becomes automatic. One of my personal favorites is the teacher. She was retired. She used to have adult workshops on Saturday where they just play with whatever new products are out. And a lot of those products are based on artist materials, but they're being designed in smaller quantities for the crafting market, and they're really fun. I got some. Anyway, we're not talking about that right now, Wiki. And anyway, she said, why are you studying the chemistry of pigments and you're not even painting? Well, I can't paint until I know how they work. No, you don't. Just do it. You'll figure out. You'll learn which colors make mud. Well, no, I want to know going into it which colors make mud so I don't have to, I skip that step. Anyway, my mistake was in following some of the wrong people, but at the time, that was the best I could do, and I took the good things that came out of it and left the bad things. The issue is getting aware of those things when they happen so that you can minimize the effect that it has on you. The roadmap that I'm going to put a link in the bottom for, and don't let me forget to put the link because I usually do, is real short. And it outlines a little bit more of my premise that the empty time is better filled with a creative activity over shopping or too much social media or... Am I cracking you up yet? Drinking or eating too much. You know, all those bad things. They all have to do with having too much time on your hands and you're bored. So, remember this. If anyone ever tells you that you have to paint with this end of the brush, you tell them no, because Vicki told me I can paint with this end of the brush too. Okay? There's always more than one way. If you try to tell me that you don't need to learn how to mix color because you can go down and buy a tube of that color that you want, I will give you about 1,000 reasons why my pre-mixed colors, with only 10 tubes of paint, maybe, 10 or 12, can make more beautiful and vibrant colors than any tube you're ever going to pick up that's got stuff in it you don't know what's in it. They're called admixtures, and they may take whatever colors it takes to get that perfect shade of blue, and they may name it peacock blue or sky blue or something like that. But you don't know what the pigments are that made it. So you're going to use that and then add something to it to get where you want to go, and you're going to get an ugly color. So I'm a big proponent in, if you know how to mix colors, you only need 10, 12 tubes. Besides that, I can mix a color quicker than you can find the tube. When I was reaching an advanced level, and again, as always, curious, I drove my teachers crazy. I wanted to know the why of every detail. I had an interesting assignment one day when I walked into my one-day class with my real tutor. Yeah, I was paying. Boy, was I. Anyway, I walked in. He said, "Here, paint this." And I went, "What?" He handed me a painting that he had done, a portrait that he had done. And he said, "I want you to copy it. I want you to have every stroke, every brush stroke. I want you to copy the form, the colors, everything about it. And I want to see how close you can get." Well, this project lasted for several weeks. I'd work on it 2 or 3 hours, and then by the time class was over, it was time to leave it and let it dry, and then next week it was ready for another session. Anyway, I was working on, let's see if I can get this. Nope. I'm looking for the shadow shape that's right here. Well, I connected that shadow shape to the eyebrow just the way he had done. And, well, I guess I could show you. It's this one. See this shape right here? It's a shape. And it's connected to the eyebrow. I thought it made brilliant sense to do it that way. So, you know, I'm proud with my newfound knowledge. And, you know, next couple of weeks I had a session with another one of my tutors who's also a portrait artist and also very well known, and his prices were up in the $13,000–14,000 of dollars. So I was doing something in his class and I did it the same way. I was proud of my new trick. It was my tool in the toolbox. He walked over to me and he said, "What are you doing that for? That's not the way you do that." Of course, I knew him really, really well, so he could talk to me that way. He kind of talked to his other students that way too. Anyway, he said you have to have a break right there. So here's the lesson in that. They're both right. You will develop your own painting style as you go. And you will find something, or a tip or tool or trick that may work in one painting or whatever it is you're trying to do, the curtains you're trying to sew, and then the next time you turn around and do it, whatever you're doing, another painting, you know, portrait or whatever, may require a different approach. Now you've got both tools in your toolbox, but the key is you have to learn on your own. You have to pick out what's right for you, remember it if you ever need it again, and then throw the bad out and keep the good. There were also they also knew I was working with both of them, so there was a little bit of professional jealousy going on there too. Keep an open mind, and like I said, your signature style will evolve. You don't go looking for your style, it finds you. Remember that every person does it different, and there are a million ways to get there from here. If I talked to 4 or 5 other portrait artists, they would say something completely different. You'll also find that not every tutor maybe an accomplished artist, accomplished portrait artist. They can paint circles around everybody else, and they get $20,000 for a painting. That doesn't necessarily make them a good teacher. And some of the best teachers I've had were mediocre painters, but they could teach. They could tell you why, and they could always seem to understand what it was you needed at that particular point. Another teacher I went to, and I was envious. I loved her style. She lived about an hour and a half away, so I would get up and be there by 9 o'clock. And those of y'all that know me know that that's a miracle right there. So get there, unload my stuff, get in there, get set up to paint. She set up a still life, and it was just, there were 4 or 5 of us in the class. Set up a still life, and it was just a wine glass and a brass bell and maybe a pepper. You know, she just threw it up there. It wasn't something she spent 2 hours messing with. And she said, paint this. You've got 30 minutes. Go. And the timer went off. That's a challenge, let me tell you. And so then 30 minutes are up. Okay, put that one down, get the other one up there. She set up another still life. This time it was an antique blue pitcher with, what do you call them? Kind of like waves, you know, indentions every so often. Anyway, I couldn't get it. I didn't have the skill to get it. I didn't know what I was looking at. And she came over, she said, "Are you whining?" I said, "Yeah, I can't do this." Well, she took a palette knife and scraped off everything I had done, down to the bare board. She painted it over for me and told me why she was doing everything she was doing. And I thought, oh boy, cool, I have one of her paintings now. No. She took the palette knife again, scraped it all off, and says, "Now you do it." I learned what she was teaching because she explained it. There's my baby boy. So you need to be aware that there are 2 ways to go about this. Are you following the don't do it this way? Or are you following now you do it? Now you do it is the correct answer. I have so many stories like these. Funny stories, workshop stories, jokes on myself. Will you be quiet? His daddy just left. Anyway, where was I? I've got tons of wisdom one-liners from my tutors. I've probably forgotten more. I mean, you know, it's hard to keep up with all of it. Okay, now here's what I want you to do. I want you to be in Facebook on the Axully Art group. It's free, and it is a community of people that are like-minded like you. They're almost... we're just kind of a unit, you know. You can talk about something you're having problems with, or maybe brag on yourself for something you did good, or, you know, just throw something up and say, what did I do here? What, you know, you have to be careful with those. We'll talk about that later. So it's a community. It's not about me, even though I jump in from time to time because I gotta feel like I'm part of the crowd. And then the second thing is download that roadmap, Axully Art Roadmap, because the invitations start going out next week, and you can't go to the webinar without an invitation, and you won't get the invitation if you don't get on my mailing list. So that's where we are, and I will see you again on, oh, you know what? Those emails start tomorrow. Yeah, not tomorrow. I lost a week. Anyway, I will see you on Thursday, 4:30, same time, same channel. Okay, bye.